We're growing our adventuring party with a Kenku Druid. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's right, I've been working on an adventuring party. We started last time with Epsilon of Sight, a wizard who uses eyeball magic and is blind. And today we've got another character. We're dropping our way into druids with a Kenku Druid. Now, to make this character, we went through a bunch of options for things that we liked all about druids to come up with ideas, and let me show you a list of them here. So yeah, our community chatted in chat while we were drawing this live and came up with adorned in nature, possibly some kind of trash druid, which led us down the road of mushrooms and rot. We wanted them to be awkward, socially unaware, but happy and kind in that. And then we wanted them to live in the space of like recycler, renewal, looking for the great purge, the day of the mushroom, when the mycelium of the world finally links us all in the grand death and life of mushrooms. And so yeah, we decided to sit down and take a look at our druid and look at druid ideas. So we loaded up the old Google image search and started looking at some reference images to see things that we liked and ideas that we thought would be wonderful. Of course, as always, this is all about idea generation, not copying. So we don't actually like copy and paste any of these things. We don't actually go in and, use them as a means of tracing or anything like that. Getting references is just a way to fill our brains with information so that we can begin to come up with our own ideas. And so you can see me looking at a few images here and there. Once we have our images down, we set about drawing some sketches. For this, I make a basic pose of something more or less that I want the character to be, and we start iterating. So our first image, really, we decided to go for very happy Kenku, trying to get this beak and bird style on there. A Kenku, for anybody who doesn't know, is a kind of creature in Dungeons and Dragons. They are crow-like people. They don't speak very much. They only use like random smatterings of words. And they're very precocious in nature. And so I thought that was a fun thing for our druid to be. You can see here I drew them with an apple in their hand because I thought that might work. And wearing sort of a long disheveled coat. I really like what we did next, which is this big mushroom staff with various kinds of mushrooms growing off of it. I believe this becomes part of our final image, and I really love the way it turned out. We also decided to build out this rotten bag of mushrooms and trash that is just sort of growing off of their back, which would be kind of cool for our character. And as you can see, this first sketch really takes a strong shape. One that becomes a strong foundation for our final image. But because iteration is important and our first ideas are not always our best, we started looking at a few other options. We moved our head around, started to put them in a bit of a hooded cloak kind of style, more of a lost and hidden away. We put them in a skirt-like pants, gave them a a cloak, cape, and really wanted to, in this one, exemplify them as a strange and sort of noble a hermit. We gave him this cool knife and a staff that has this like little biome of mushrooms growing inside of it, which I thought was a kind of cool idea, this like terrarium of mushrooms. Last but not least, we decided, working on our third one here, that we would go down a slightly different look for our Kenku, make for smaller eyes, and give them just lots of mushrooms growing out of their head, like to an extreme amount. Which I think kind of makes a very interesting like hairstyle. I don't know if we fully embrace this, but I do really like the way that it looks. Just the overabundant mushrooms coming out of their head. It adds to their insanity, that's for sure. And here we wanted them just to be wearing a long shirt, covering them up. And we decided to go with just a big old mushroom staff, which I think is kind of cool. And yeah, that was our 3 sketches for this drawing. And we took a look at them and decided the things that we liked and decided to work on the one more full detail version of our character. And so you can see I'm using the first one that we drew as a general base. I liked their head and their face the best, but we wanted to take some ideas from the other ones. So the mushroom sort of hair, that overwhelming growth of mushroom on top, I really wanted to take that from the bottom one and really get this rotten backpack that sort of like has grown out of the bag up onto their head and they don't really care. I liked the long torn jacket and pants style, and I really loved the staff that we started with on that first image, so we kept that. And you can see me here going in and trying to give the staff just a little bit more detail and shape as we round out this image. I find the idea of a Kenku to be really interesting and cool, and making them a druid just sort of feels like a fun way of making this nature being. I kept the knife from the one character because I thought it'd be interesting that they were like very stabby while also being a druid. Something to do with their nature, asking them to be a little bit more chaotic. And yes, we work on this staff and make it a little bit more layered and interesting in its own right. And I'm really happy with how the sketch turns out. There's something about this process of working through character design that can be really scary because you just don't know what's going to happen. And in the end, I was really proud of the character we designed. And with our sketch done, it's time for us to turn towards line art. I like using this sort of inky vibed pen, and I'm really going in there and trying to get these details right. I think I've said it before, but I'll say it again, that for me, there is sketching that really helps to define the core of an image, but during inking, there's always room for subtle shifts and adjustments that look better. You can see even there on just that little mushroom, I'm making a slight change in what it looks like, and something about doing it in ink really changes my perception of things from time to time and requires me to do that little extra effort, and I think that's okay. You know, sketches are all about being loose and free, and inking is about locking in things. And while I often want my sketch layer to be a solid representation of what I want from the thing I'm making, I do always want to keep myself open to adjusting. I really like the idea of this character, probably a hobo of sorts who lives in the woods or lives, you know, on the edges of civilization, collecting trash and other things to make, you know, his great mushroom biome on himself. And yeah, there's something about the staff that I really enjoyed too. You know, variety of mushrooms always makes for a really interesting look, and I feel like whatever I was, you know, going for that day really came together. And art is kind of like that sometimes, where you have like ideas and they don't always come to fruition, and you have to figure out or, you know, be satisfied with things not quite landing exactly how you want to. And in the end, I thought this staff really did the trick in terms of what I wanted from this character, and really makes the character in a lot of ways that without the staff, they'd be a little bit too boring and not quite all the way there in the way I want. And so, yeah, I was really happy to see that staff come to fruition. The knife also adds a lot, I think, making it sort of a broken blade, found object kind of knife really also brings something to this character. In the end, it was a lot of fun to draw this character. I hope you enjoyed watching this process with me. It's super cool to get the chance to do this and to make videos about it. It's something that I've wanted to do for quite some time and haven't felt quite as confident in doing. So yeah, I hope you enjoy seeing our Kenku Druid here. We decided to name them Mike, the Rot Druid, Mike being short for mycelium. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Let's check out the final reveal of Mike, the Rot Druid. And that's going to be it for our second member of our adventuring party. Let's add them to the image here and really see what our party looks like so far. I work on this every Thursday. We're trying to add 3 more members to the party. I just finished drawing a Dragonborn Barbarian that will be added to the party. They're super fun and cool. Look for that video coming out soon. For now, if you enjoyed this, please let me know. Let me know in the comments. Share it with somebody. Do the like things. Tell YouTube that my content is worth seeing. That's always helpful. But the truth is, I'm just glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining me. And of course, till next time, keep being awesome. Bye!